Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, Vice Chair of the Libertarian National Committee, and that guy from alexmerced.com. And I just wanted to kind of speak a little moment about toxicity and culture. And I mean, a lot of people are probably thinking that I want to talk specifically about just sort of toxicness within the Libertarian Party community the last few days. And it's not necessarily novel. I mean, this is just what happens in any kind of organization, not just a political organization. Any organization when big decisions need to be made, people have strong emotions about what should be done, and it affects them emotionally and affects the way that they communicate with others, and sometimes saying things or expressing themselves in ways that probably later on they may regret or not necessarily feel the same way about anymore. And but it's not just that, though. It's about fixing toxicity in the grander culture, but that starts within, okay, with the way we approach each other. Because as an organization, our effectiveness is also not in part just of what our tactics are or what our strategy is, but also our cohesiveness, okay, and our willingness to try to build a greater cohesiveness, okay. And that doesn't necessarily mean we all have to be on the same page about every decision and every detail. It just means we have to kind of want to be on the same page, okay, not get hung up on details far as what our particular favorite books are, or what our favorite tactic is, or what strategy do we think is best. We can have those differences. One of the beautiful things about the Libertarian Party is that we're the third largest party, or in another way you can look at it is we're the largest emerging party for a very good reason, because of the very thing that we're promoting. We're a free market. We are a clearinghouse of libertarian activism. People can join the Libertarian Party and try to promote the libertarian message in a variety of ways, in a variety of different tenors. And while sometimes, us all doing different things in this sort of beautiful chaos can seem chaotic and beautiful, but it also allows us to learn quicker. It allows us to be nimble and adapt faster than other organizations that are top heavier can. And that's allowed us to do more with less, and has allowed us to grow in ways that other organizations have not, and allowed us to reach people that otherwise we could not, because you have a diverse set of messengers with a diverse set of messages, all with the same thing at its core. The whole idea of sort of a world where we have an individual peace among each other, exercising nonviolence against each other, by creating a culture of consent, where basically all our arrangements, we hold consent highly in the way we arrange society, whether it's our economic transactions or social transactions, etc. That's a beautiful message, and I feel very confident that pretty much everyone in the party, regardless of different particulars, are behind that, are behind creating that world. But we have to model that world. To me, that's why the Libertarian community has also been one of the key things that helps make the case for the Libertarian Party, because we are an example of what a libertarian world looks like. Okay, none of us have to deal with each other. None of us, we all interact with each other consensually. We all help each other consensually, and I see this when I go from state convention to state convention, where people do carpooling, people give each other daycare, when people have unplanned life events, people raise money for each other. There is no sort of central coordination of aid, or having to browbeat or guilt and shame people to get people to just care about each other, okay, even after we fight, even after we argue. So again, building and reducing the toxicity of our culture within, and doing the opposite, and building upon the resiliency of our culture within the Libertarian Party will only make our voice stronger, only make our voice louder, and create the world that we're trying to create, not just by achieving the political successes that are within our grasp, and more so in our grasp every day, but also by creating a model, an example that people can look up to. Okay, and that's why one of the things that I always like to talk about is example, through leadership, through example, through change through example, by being the world that we want to create. Okay, we want a world that allows there to sort of be that sort of voluntarily pluralism where people can coexist in a nonviolent manner. We have to each, as an individual, practice that in our own life, and make our best effort to coexist, not because someone's threatening violence if we don't, but because we want to create a world where that is the norm. The norm is to get along. The norm is to, live and let live. And that building that culture, building that world is a created in every choice that we make, in every interaction we have with others. So, yeah. So I just want to kind of say that, just remind everybody that we're all on the same team. But also on that, and it's just be like, it's okay that we have moments of toxicity like this, where we have moments where we argue, especially during times like this, where we're leading into a large political event like a presidential election, where when you go into a national convention season during a year like this, people have very strong feelings about the decisions that are going to be made at that convention. And oftentimes it's at convention when we bury those ties, we build those camaraderies and whatnot. Okay, and regardless of what happens with the convention, there's going to be probably a lot of people who can't make it to any form of convention. There's going to be a lot of people who wish they could be more involved and not going to be able to. So there's more of a responsibility. There's more of a need for us to rebuild our fences, to mend those bridges on a daily basis, to do it in all forms, online, offline, etc., to make sure that we still have that sort of that cohesive culture going to some of the greater opportunities we have moving forward. So, be passionate, be excited, fight hard for the things that you want, but don't lose sight of what the end goal is: to create that world, and then leave and use everything that's on the table. Okay, it's all hands on deck, all approaches on deck. And again, we are a community that is an example of what a liberty community looks like. We are a free market clearinghouse of libertarian ideas and action, allowing us to quickly learn what actions work better than others. We are the proof in the pudding. Our growth, our place in this moment is the proof in the pudding that there's something to these ideas, that regardless of all the inertia of all the heavyweight institutions that try to push back on free individuals being able to grow, we still grow. Because literally, I mean, you take a look at the institutions that work in contrast to sort of the momentum we're trying to create, we still keep capturing more momentum. And that is something to not take for granted. That is something to be excited about. And that is something to take a look at your fellow libertarians and want to give them a big, maybe socially distant hug in this day and age. So I just want to kind of go out there and encourage everybody to remember what we're doing, remember why we're doing it, feel excited about where we are, because so much has happened the last few years that is positive, that is exciting, and there is so much that's on the table that is exciting, and I don't want people to lose sight of that during these moments where sometimes it's easy to give into pessimism, especially in an environment where the whole world is just in a situation where it's kind of easy to give in to pessimism, to cynicism. And I mean, I'm guilty of being very subject to cynicism the last few months myself. But certainly over the last week or so, I feel like I've reawakened and, rediscovered sort of my inner liberto passion. I don't know, I'm just making up words now. But yeah, so hopefully these combination of words and inflection and whatnot had some sort of impact on you to go out there and encourage others, to be an example in yourself, to live life in a way that encourages others to just make choices that facilitate a world of individual peace through a culture of consent. And because again, it's always that voluntary world, that voluntary aspect that brings out the best in each other. Politics oftentimes brings out the worst in each other, because we're asking a group of people, we're allowing a group of people to make decisions for a larger group of people that they're not on board with. And this can cause the kind of situation where people look for the worst in each other, because everyone wants to kind of defame each other. They want to use pejoratives against each other, because they just want to diminish their influence to get their way. And that's just the nature of politics. We are the anti-politic. We're trying to create a world where more decisions are not created in these sort of political atmospheres, but in a voluntary atmosphere where basically to get the things that I want, I don't need to defeat you. I need to work with you. And that's what markets are. That's what community is. You know, the success in achieving the things we want are built upon our ability to reach out to each other, to make the case and build the rapport and earn the respect for the things that I want to happen. And that's a world where a lot of the divisions of society, a lot of the pain that has been caused, a lot of the pain that still exists can be healed. And I have not lost sight of that, and I am aiming to make that, to not just keep pushing towards that. So you guys have a great day. My name is Alex Merced, current vice chair of the Libertarian National Committee, and I hope you guys have a great day.